Hello, Water12 here, and welcome to a brand new video. Well, it's 2022 right now, new year, new calendar, except I didn't buy any calendar last year, mainly because I thought I was going to take a break from buying them, but one day last year I actually came across one of these. Hey, it's the Moomins. Yep, yep, the Moomins have a calendar. They actually had, I think they had like a good few of them. I just I never actually stumbled across any in person before. I actually found this in the Oxfam charity shop. It was a pretty pricey thing. Granted, it would be because it's not secondhand stock. So yeah. But hey, it's still really cool that this exists. Moomin by Duva Janssen. We have all the different characters here. We have Moomin, Snork Maiden, Moomin Papa, Moomin Mama, and Two Ticky right here. Calendar 2022. Yep, this is indeed for the new year. Except it's like 4 days in now. It's not really new anymore. Whatever. And on the back we have all the little things inside in case you want to spoil yourself with what kind of things are going to be on each of the different pictures. But we'll find that out soon enough. Which dates these correspond to. Everything is sourced by Oxfam range. Everything in the sourced by Oxfam range help beat poverty for good. It does take a while to do that though. In all fairness, we don't live with poverty. I'm sure you don't. Grid start day Sunday. Moon phases included. Space for notes not included. Okay. And captions are included. And the holidays, this one has interesting ones. This one has the holidays for the UK, Ireland, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and South Africa, apparently. So wherever you live, you have something to celebrate with this one. Unless you live in Indonesia or something, in which case it won't have what you want to celebrate. Sorry, Indonesians. Anyway, let's open this up and see what magic's in store. That one I didn't notice before. It's a pretty plain 2021 calendar in case you still live in 2021. For none of you. Oh yeah, this is like a little small one. So this is technically a 16-month calendar, and I forgot where this starts. Okay, here we go. This is the proper start now. Oops, I don't want to spoil it. Nah, I've ruined everything. Okay, here we go. Moomin Calendar 2022. This is just a little picture of the front. So let's just open it up. We have a January, and here this is a pretty big thing. I have to flip it over every now and again. Here's a Moomin Mama knitting a sweater or something, or possibly a scarf. Yeah, this is the one for January. Let's flip it over, and each one actually has a different caption for each of them. So for this one, we have Philish. That's something like it's like a little cross between Phil Fish, that shit game developer that kind of acted like a bit of a dick. But anyway, Finnish illustrator Tuva Jansson, 1914 to 2001, scored an instant hit with her stories of the Moomins. They first appeared in Norway's Nitid newspaper in 1947, and were taken up by the London Evening News 7 years later. Moomin Mama was modelled on Jansson's own mother, Sinja Hammersten Janssen, 1882 to 1970. An artist, Ham had given up her vocation to keep her family. Dove couldn't imagine emulating that self-sacrifice, but still respected it profoundly. Oh. Anyway, yeah, indeed, it does start on Sunday, and there's Moomin Mama's purse. Anyway, these are the different dates on there. You have New Year's Day, of course. Okay. So today is the 4th. So that means it's a public holiday for Scotland and New Zealand. So, hello everybody. Oh yeah, Epiphany 3 Kings Day. Isn't that like something like Spain celebrates? Anyway, yeah, these have all the different kind of holidays, including ones I completely forgot even existed. Including Makar Sankranti. What? I guess now I get to learn when Martin Luther King Day is. Okay, that's something cool. And Australia Day. That's pretty neat. It's pretty big. This is so heavy. I mean, this is a big one. But yeah, this is for January. February, appropriately, we have a little love one with Moomin and Snork Maiden. and all a bunch of different flowers. In this one, we have a different caption. This time saying, Duva Janssen started as a Duva Janssen started as a political cartoonist. Very smart and withering in her satire, she had a cynical streak a mile wide, but she admired and envied innocence. Her hero, Moomin Troll, or Moomin if you want to call him that, stands out in his earnest simplicity, his naive love of adventure, his unquestioning loyalty to his friends, and of course, in besotted devotion he shows for the Snork Maiden, despite her little vanities and capricious moods. Mouths. Yeah. In this one, we have a little rose at the tail end of the month. This year's Chinese New Year is February the 1st, and Groundhog Day is on the 2nd. Pretty neat, pretty cool stuff. Just looking at all the different kind of things that it is kind of interesting to see what kind of days that they celebrate, because living in somewhere where most of these things you don't celebrate, it's kind of fun to learn what kind of things they celebrate. The Emperor's birthday is on the 23rd in February in Japan. That's nice. Interesting that they put the Japanese ones. I mean, in all fairness, Moomin is popular in Japan, so it would make sense. Next one, March. This one we have Moomin and Snufkin. He seems to be crafting some kind of boat, and he has his pipe with him, with a bunch of different flowers. And he likes to knock over the camera. Snufkin's a very naughty man. Anyway, Janssen was in many ways a misfit, but that seems to have been a secret of mainstream success for her. It was surely the sheer quirkiness of the cartoons that secured them their classic status. A pipe-smoking philosopher poet, given to wander off for solitary reveries, the figure of Moomin Troll's best friend Snufkin was based on Duve's yet left-wing journalist friend, and briefly fiancé, Atos Wirnanen, 1906 to 1979. That's not how you spell fiancé, though. there shouldn't be a Sadia on the C there, because a C before an E would make a soft S, would make an S sound anyway, so so that's not how you spell fiance. Yeah. Amateurs. Anyway, this one we have more flowers. St. David's Day in Wales. Shrove Tuesday and Pancake Tuesday. Or Pancake Day even. Well, it's supposed to be called Pancake Tuesday. Okay. So what else do I have? First Sunday of Lent. This is where people just do nothing. Commonwealth Day, International Women's Day, St. Paddy's Day. Wait, what's Purim? I'm gonna ask all these questions. The people in the comments are gonna be telling me all these different things. Spring Equinox, and there we go, Mother's Day in the UK and Ireland. Yeah, this is interesting because there's actually two, or at least two, Mother's Days in the world. They're probably more. There's just two of them that they celebrate. Just like in Ireland and the UK, they celebrate it in March, but in the US, I think they celebrate it in May. I think. Well, we find out when we explore the calendar a bit more, but we'll see. Moomin Mama again. This time she has a watering can and a rake. Maybe she do that little thing in The Simpsons where Sideshow Bob keeps walking into rakes. Wouldn't that be an interesting thought? Moomin Mama's breezy cheerfulness as she goes around the 1,000,001 duties of her day is always irresistible, but then Janssen's Moomin world is very upbeat and life-affirming. An antidote, in other words, to the darkness, violence, and treachery of a Second World War that had seen Finland first invaded by the Soviet Union, then allied with Nazi Germany against it. A torturous time for the left-wing Finnish conscience. It's a pretty dark thought for a calendar about Moomins. Anyway, just change the topic all of a sudden. We have more flowers. Could you never get enough of them? As usual, April Fool's Day isn't marked. Although, then again, April Fool's Day isn't really a holiday, is it? Yeah. Whatever. It is kind of fun to mark on calendars, though. If I made a calendar, I'd mark April Fool's Day on mine. Whatever. Hindi New Year. Apparently, Okay, so China isn't the only country that doesn't celebrate New Year on January 1st. Apparently, India does as well. Hmm. Ramadan begins that day. So remember that, niños. Uh, Good Friday. How ironic, because during history, whenever it was Good Friday, nothing good ever happened. That's the most ironic day in the world for most people. Easter Sunday. Yep, this is when Easter is. So Easter's a very interesting day because it's like it changes every single year. It's one of the most inconsistent holidays in the world. In fact, I never know when it is. Okay, Saint George's Day in England, which is interesting because you know because England isn't the only place that celebrates Saint George's Day. Believe it or not, they actually also celebrate it in Spain, specifically the Catalonia area. They have like a little day called San Jordi, which is like a little day about dragons and roses and all that stuff. It's a little interesting, kind of cool holiday. And in Spain, worldwide, they also have like a little day where they have like a price off books, which is really awesome. Pretty good time if you want to buy comics. What else is there? Freedom Day in South Africa. Freedom Day, yay! This one time we can get freedom for free. It's not like the Team America song. It's like freedom isn't free. Okay, we'll go to the next one, and it's Snork Maiden again. Or this time it's just on her own though. She's putting flowers on her hair. How sweet. A bohemian and a bohemian rhapsody and an intellectual, Duva Janssen rejected the conventional femininity that bound most women's lives in Finland, as in Europe as a whole, in the middle decades of the 20th century. She never married, but had a series of male and female lovers. That's right, Duva Janssen was an LGBT author. While Snork Maiden's flowers, frills, and folderols never could represent an ideal for her, she could still appreciate her engaging innocence and charm. Greenery Day in Japan. Children's Day in Japan. Great. Ramadan and I can never remember. I can never remember when Memorial. Okay, I was talking about I was just thinking about Memorial Day. Okay, so this is when Memorial Day is. Don't that isn't that like a special holiday? I'm not American, so I'm very, very. I'm very, very out of these kind of things. All right, here we go. I was talking about Mother's Day earlier. We have Mother's Day. Well, they actually celebrate Mother's Day. Okay, it's not just the US that celebrates Mother's Day in May. It's apparently Australia, Canada, New Zealand, South Africa, and Japan as well. So I guess UK and Ireland are like an outlier. Victoria Day in Canada, Ascension Day, Ascension Sunday, Ascension Sunday. Wait a minute, I just remembered. Isn't May Day's not marked here? Red Dwarf actually taught me a good thing. That May Day is actually whenever they say that, it's actually French. For help me. Anyway, next month is my birth month, and it's Moomin and Snork Maiden again, probably catching fish on a boat. But the joke's on them though; they're probably gonna sink because underneath them is like a hole. Okay, maybe not. That's mean. In the 1920s, the Janssen family spent their summers in an island of the Gulf of Finland where the young Duva and their brother and sister could run wild. Messing about in boats was a big part of that, and Moomintroll was to inherit her intrepidity. We never find him phased by any danger or discouraged by any setback, nor do we ever see his eager enthusiasm quenched. That's good on Moomin. Okay, so June, my birth month, and also the month of and also the LGBT month. LGBT Pride month. That's it. I couldn't remember it, but remember on June, expect me to talk about nudity a lot. Anyway, Spring Bank Holiday and Coronation Day. That's a day when everyone goes around sitting down watching Coronation Street. What a terrible day that is, because I really don't like soap operas. And I know that's probably not what people do on that day. I'm making a joke. The Queen's official birthday in the UK. Oh, nice. Her birthday is just like a few days before mine. Okay, and this is June 14th. This is my birthday. Oddly, they don't actually. I just noticed they don't actually mark Flag Day on there, even though I'm pretty sure it's an important American holiday. It isn't Flag Day on June 14th. It's very odd. That's very odd. Okay, we go. We have Father's Day. This one, unlike the UK, and unlike Mother's Day, this one seems to be universal. So yeah, except for Australia and New Zealand, when do they celebrate their Father's Day? I wonder. Oh, and if you're wondering what the thing is, it's a boat. I didn't actually check what the other one was actually. Oh yeah, more flowers. Okay, July. Like, it's a month where the camera knocks down. How convenient. Snork Maiden, she's wearing sunglasses. The ironic thing about Moomins is that they usually don't wear clothes, but when they're swimming, they actually wear swimsuits. It's absolutely true. But anyway, she has a parasol, a book, a stand to put the parasol, I assume. Anyway, this one has a shell. By no means just a pretty face or even a romantic love interest, the Snork Maiden has a more complex role in the comics than we might assume. Frivolous as her fashion consciousness may be, fabulous as some of the fatuous as some of the fads she follows, she opens up a window on the wider world beyond that of the Moomins, a real world of mounting consumerism and social change. Who else in Moomin Valley would want to go sunbathing? Maybe Mumble or Little My. You haven't seen Little My in this calendar, or many of the other characters from the Moomins for that matter. It's been mostly the Moomins and Snork Maiden. Anyway, 1st of July is Canada Day, so remember that. And there's Independence Day. I tend to celebrate Independence Day even though I'm not American. I don't care. I celebrate what I want, okay? Battle of the Boyne in Northern Ireland. What else is there? This one doesn't seem to have a whole lot. Although apparently Muslims celebrate New Year pretty late in the year. I'm gonna piss off a lot of people, aren't I? And now we have August, which is also the name of the character from Wonder. Here we have this is pretty much the front cover of the calendar. We have a Moomin, Snork Maiden, Moomin Papa, Moomin Mama, and Two Tiki. Although her face doesn't seem to be showing. It's like a little Miss Bellum effect, I guess. And for this one, for August, it says, being adrift on a raft beneath a blazing sun far out at sea is no reason for Moomin Papa to dress down. Adventures like this are almost routine for the Moomin patriarch. Janssen does her fellow author the courtesy of portraying him with his typewriter and a sheaf of papers. His portraited autobiography, The Exploits of Moomin Papa, appeared as one of the Moomin books in 1950, and completely overhauled as Moomin Papa's Memoirs, 1968. Great. So we have this one we have we have National Women's Day. Okay, this is not International Women's Day. This is a specific Women's Day for South Africa. Okay, we have Mountain Day in Japan. I guess this is the day where everyone goes climbing mountains, I guess. Seriously, this is a very weird. This is an interesting calendar because until today I never knew that a day like Krishna Yamashtami exists. And this one has Moomin Papa as a typewriter, which is always good. At least we all know that Moomin Papa can write novels better than Brian Griffin. Anyway, next month, Moomin Mama again. She's putting some berries inside of Moomin Papa's hat with a bunch of shells around it. She looks pretty happy. Okay. Moomin Papa is never allowed to stand on his dignity for long. Here his wife finds a use for that magnificent top hat as a berry basket. The unembarrassed gravity with which the weirdest characters in the most absurd situations were set out in Janssen's work ensured their appeal far beyond her native Finland. In strip format alone, the Moomins were to reach up to 20 million readers in 40 countries around the world. Pretty amazing feat. You have a bunch of shells. And let's see, we have Labor Day. Okay, here, so this is when the Australians celebrate Father's Day. We learn something new every day, amigos. And there's Labor Day in the US and Canada. This is when I don't actually know what people do in Labor Day. Whatever. International Literacy Day. That's when people go reading books, writing books, eating books. And International Day of Peace. This is when people learn to be pacifists. Unless you're Char from Undertale, in which case you're not particularly good at that. And Grandparents' Day in the USA and Canada on September 11th. I can't help but think there's a certain other important thing that happened that day. But anyway, Jewish New Year begins in September. That's pretty neat. Okay, next month we have October. We made it to October, and already we find Little Mai and Moomin. He's looking at a tree. I wonder what's in the tree. Probably a bunch of probably some a flying squirrel. Maybe it's Rocky from Rocky and Bullwinkle. It's like a little crossover thing. Anyway, half sister to Snufkin, Little Mai is a bundle of belligerence. We see her typically berating Moomin Troll here. Is she berating him, or is he just talking to him, making him look up at something? I don't know. But she's fiercely loyal, and in her turn, beloved of all in Moomin Valley, a place where the most abrasive and antisocial of characters could always find a welcome. This was, of course, both a reflection of Dove Janssen's own unconventionality and a clue as to why her cartoons proved so extraordinarily appealing to readers everywhere. So, for October, it should be an interesting one because there's lots of dates on it. So, what kind of things are on the this day, this calendar, this month? Birthday of the Islamic Prophet Muhammad. You can't show him his face, or else you'll get you get death threats. I think Trey Parker and Matt Stone would know that. Shravat Navratiyans, Day of Atonement, Thanksgiving Day. And Canadians celebrate Thanksgiving in October. Indigenous Peoples Day, Columbus Day. Oh yes, Columbus Day. What an interesting day that is. If you don't know, yeah, I'm pretty sure most people would know. Christopher Columbus, he ended up not being a very nice man. I mean, he wasn't really a nice man anyway, but he was an absolute dickhead. Always, when he acted so high and mighty, even though he sucked at math, and he gave the people that were there all kinds of different diseases that they had no immunity for, because it was during the 13th century. I'm trying to remember the centuries now. It was 1492. Yeah, it would be the 13th century because anyway, but yeah, he ended up being a dickhead. So I never understood why people would celebrate Columbus Day if he did nothing else other than discover someone else's backyard, as Smeghead put it. But yeah, Smeghead from or Cinematic X-Men, if you want to refer to him that, he kind of explained it a lot better than I ever could. But yeah, Columbus Day is a load of shit. I'm sorry. I don't know why you celebrate a day where of a dickhead like Christopher Columbus. What a pretentious twat. Anyway, last day of Sukkot, International Day of the Eradication of Poverty. Okay, that's good because it's like an Oxfam thing. And Labor Day in New Zealand. They celebrate Labor Day in New Zealand. Wait, where is it? Where's the? It says oh, there we go. On the 24th of October, that's when they celebrate Labor Day in New Zealand. And Halloween, okay, we're near the end of the calendar, so Here's Moomin Papa reading Agatha Christie. Pretty interesting because it's like a Duve Janssen. Imagine if Moomin Papa was reading Duve Janssen's books. That would be a very, very meta thing to see, indeed. And he's drinking wine. Feels very weird to see Moomins with alcohol. Although then again, there was that Moomins anime from the '60s where they had where the Moomins had guns and drink and alcohol, and everyone acted out of character, and Duve Janssen really did not like it. The '90s one was better anyway, in all fairness. I mean, that one was more relaxing to see. Anyway, his day's work done. Moomin Papa unwinds with a book and a beer. It is beer. Holy shit. A picture of contentment. Simple pleasures are the best in the world of the Moomins. Duve Janssen's work, with its gentle humour, its quiet wit, and its understated ironies, celebrates the capacity we all have to get the best we can out of our lives. As offbeat as their characters are, they are strikingly ordinary in the most important ways. True that. In November, on this day, on the 1st of November, we have All Saints Day, which is of course the day we celebrate all the kind of saints that existed in the world. We have Saint Nicholas, Saint Patrick, Saint Ursula, and the lot. Great. 5th of November doesn't seem to be marked. Isn't the day? What about the rhyme? Remember the 5th of November. Isn't that like in a point? Isn't it like bonfire night that day? Remembrance Day, or Armistice Day, or Veterans Day. Ah, here we go. Thanksgiving. Hey, we got to eat the turkey. And also, Martyrdom of Guru Tegh Bahadur. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, sorry. And on the 25th, that would be Black Friday. So, yay. And the thing is a top hat. And finally, we have Snork Maiden buying presents. I wonder what's inside the presents. Is that bread? Is that an Xbox? Who can say? In fact, actually, maybe not an Xbox, because the Moomins don't have any TV, so how the hell would they be able to play Xbox? Anyway, flip it over. Christmas is coming. The goose is getting fat. Please put a penny in an old man's hat. Christmas is coming with goodwill and gifts to all. A time for festivity and fun. For family and friends, Snork Maiden plays Santa here, bustling in with presents. In a letter to the world's children, written in Father Christmas's persona in 1963, that's Santa Claus for people who don't speak British, Duve Janssen expressed her hopes for this time of year, and in conclusion, her fervent wish that you will all be happy and like each other as much as possible. Oh, how sweet. So, this one has another flower. I was expecting there to be some kind of Christmas related thing. A bit of a missed opportunity. But anyway, what we have here is a good amount. Let's just say. Let's see, Body Day. In the 8th, that's where people go to work out their bodies. That was awful. Day of Reconciliation for South Africa, and Hanukkah. Hey there, Jewish people in the audience. Winter solstice happens, and there's a Christmas Eve. Yes. And Christmas Day. Hooray, this is good for people. And remember, if you don't celebrate Christmas, you're evil. That's what they would say in Christmas with the Cranks. That movie was absolutely abysmal, though, and one of the most conformative pieces of media I've ever seen. Seriously, don't watch that. It's definitely the worst. It's definitely the worst Christmas movie starring Tim Allen. Honestly, it's one of the worst Christmas movies ever, in all honesty. But anyway, on the 26th is an interesting day because there's like a bunch of different stuff they celebrate. They have Boxing Day. They have St. Stephen's Day in Ireland. In Day of Goodwill in South Africa. I live in Ireland, and I honestly have no bloody idea what St. Stephen's Day is. I have no idea what who St. Stephen is, or what he did, or why Irish people celebrate a day solely dedicated to him. at least with Boxing Day, I can understand what that is. Because Boxing Day is like a day where people give gifts and presents to the poor, unfortunate souls out there. But Saint Stephen's Day. Who's Saint Stephen? Like seriously. And Day of Goodwill. That's in South Africa. That's fair. That's understandable. I think I could hazard a bit of a guess on what people do on Day of Goodwill. And Christmas Day observed, birthday of Guru Gobind Singh, and New Year's Eve. And that's the end of the Moomin Calendar of 2022 from Oxfam. I think the calendar is pretty nice. Has pretty nice artwork. Pretty disappointing artwork though, because a complete lack of cast. Because let's face it, because the only characters that appeared in this one are Moomin. Wait, let me find them. Moomin, Snork Maiden, Moomin Papa, Moomin Mama, and then Snufkin, Toot Ticky, and Little Mai only appear like once in the entire calendar, which is a little bit which is very disappointing, especially if you really like the Moomins, because the Moomins always had a really big cast of characters. I always figured, because we had characters, because you had the Snork, we have Sniff, we have Stinky, the Groke. It would be an interesting one. Although, yeah, I mean, the Groke is pretty scary. But yeah, that would be an interesting one. If I remember all the rest of the characters. Hattie Fatteners, that would be really cool to see. Hobgoblin. I'm just doing a little list of things that doing a little homework on Moomin characters. Mimble, or Mumble if you prefer, or whatever Mimble's daughter. I suppose both of them would apply. You know. What else? What other Moomin characters are there? There's a lot of Moomin characters, and those are the ones I can remember off the. Oh yeah, Ninny. I almost forgot Ninny. She's the invisible girl. And yeah, there's a lot of characters in the Moomins. Thinking about it, whew, so many. It's pretty difficult to remember all of them. Yeah, but it's a bit of a shame that there's not a lot of characters represented in this calendar. Maybe there are more representation in the other calendars, but for this one, it's not particularly good. But at least the artwork is pretty nice, so I can't complain about that. And I just have calendars for most of the. I just have the dates for most of the important holidays. So that's something important too. If you live in the UK, Ireland, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and South Africa. So yeah. But overall, this is a pretty cool calendar. I think in terms of dates, it's definitely a good one. In terms of artwork, I think the Song of the Sea one's better. But yeah, I thought this is really nice to show. And considering it's a new year, might as well show something about the new year. So yeah, that's the end of the video. This is World 812 signing out.